What's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, we're taking a look over here at the Bitcoin price chart and the altcoin market as it turns itself around today. Green all over the board, wiping back the last 2 days of red in here as I'm recording, at least at this minute. Bitcoin sits at $37,500. Continuing the higher highs and higher lows as we've been anticipating here for the last several weeks throughout the second half of October and here all through November. At the same time, we've seen some nice movement over here in the United States stock market. You can see we've been in this range here with the Dow Jones Industrial Average for quite some time, dating back to July and August. Today, getting a pop here above the last retracement level. We'll see if we can get anything more out of that to give crypto a bigger push up higher. The thing that I do find more interesting, though, has been the NASDAQ 100 technology sector, the NDXT, which today has set another yearly high just barely this morning after ABCing back to the support level over here. For an example of something like this, we can look back over here to the top of Bitcoin. Essentially, it makes the whole thing a distribution, but enters into kind of the parabolic YOLO exciting phase of distribution should we end up getting it. Notice the back test of the support levels in here, and that's really what we have going on right now. We were able to hold after an ABC. So there is some exciting stuff to see over here in the United States stock market, which of course we know is a formula for the crypto market. Every new all-time high for Bitcoin was accompanied by the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We definitely don't have that yet for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, but good signs over there in the NDXT, and well, we're getting through the last retracement level. Now, we actually did see gold do something very similar to this recently. You could see that the Dow has essentially gotten all the way back up here in 3 weeks. Gold did the same thing in the same range, shot all the way back up, was not able to get through that last retracement level, and then whoop, pulled itself right back down. But a good sign nonetheless. We'll check in on it tomorrow and see how we're doing to see if we can get a continued break through those levels and push this baby higher. But either way, the move up over here in Bitcoin hitting 37,700 right now as I'm recording. Yesterday, I heard reports of people screaming that we were going to 12K again with a $300 million liquidation that took place in here. So all leverage players got taken out. Again, when we see those leverage players get taken out, the degens of longing, that tends to mark bottoms. Notice, though, even though we're shifting our way up, and if we are playing in something along these lines, it doesn't mean it's still not going to scare right back down again, that this could just keep waddling in here until finally a full-blown breakout does end up coming. And I get it, this thing's moving up fast. You're thinking to yourself, it's going to break out right now. Maybe it will, but that can happen here too. All of these can happen until finally the real one ends up shooting it out of there. Either way, it's pretty optimistic to see this move happening here for Bitcoin, no matter what you own in the cryptocurrency market, because this is always a mandatory requirement of the altcoin market to move up, is that there is strength over here in Bitcoin, because it means there's strength in the entire cryptocurrency market. So optimistic to see that happening here today for Bitcoin. As for the altcoin market, of course, you have a couple of days of red. This market has gotten so used to having green days every day. Anytime we have a sprinkle of red, you see the sentiment change every single time, because it doesn't happen very often. We've had like 4 red days here in these last 3 weeks, and every time we have them, you see the sentiment just go quiet. It goes dark over there on Twitter and on X.com. And of course, these last couple of days, people have been just like kind of like, you just see more infighting, I guess, really. And I think we're so used to these greens, we've grown to expect them. And if it doesn't happen, then there's something wrong, which of course is why there was $300 million liquidated yesterday of people who are longing the market, because the market loves to dish out pain. Either way, the move that did happen over here in the total altcoin market, which is what we are looking at, totally normal to happen in here. We're still working on sign of strength to finish itself here for the altcoin market. I'm not a big trend line guy. You guys know it. But either way, hey, a nice little backtest in here. Still got to work through that sign of strength. We're still underneath the preliminary support over here. So we still have a little ways to go to get a full-blown breakout here in total 2. Total 3 was more of like a close on top of its daily candle closes. It just did it by just a tad, and then boom, shooting its way back up in here after backtesting the daily candle closes level. Total 3, of course, is the same story. We're working on sign of strength to get a big old breakout over there in the altcoin market. We, of course, have seen leaders like AVAX, Solana, and Chainlink, and a couple of new contenders enter into the market like TIA. But still, the broader part of the market, we're kind of all in this same spot trying to get that bigger break, which, as you can see, that's what Others is trying to do right now. So Others is going to include all of the altcoin market, excluding the top 10. Now, when it comes to the altcoins, I've been spending the last several weeks of my life just analyzing data about the altcoin market. Who's going to be the winners? Who's going to be the losers? We watched what happened in 2021. The data is very consistent across the board. 20% of coins had big runs, or 1 out of every 5, or 2 out of every 10. It's consistent across the board. And so for the last several months, I've been spending all my time, and I said I was going to do this year, that I was going to spend a lot of time behind the scenes trying to figure out and solve what was it that caused specific coins to go and other coins not to. And you guys have heard a lot about that. You've heard about like developer data, right? Is there active development being done on these coins? Do you see developer growth happening, right? Are they getting new full-time devs? Are they losing devs? That's what my whole last newsletter was about, really about development activity and comparing those. You guys know that. I put out another one today. We start talking a lot more about, is there any type of alpha that can be derived from the percentage drawdown that they've had? As we know, Bitcoin has had a 77% drawdown here in 2022. Ethereum had a 81, 82% drawdown in 2022. But what does it mean long term for things like Solana, which ended up having 97% drawdowns, or Algorand, which ended up having a 96, 97% drawdown? Is there any consistency between that? Do the odds favor recoveries or new all-time highs and new cycles rather than just retraces? Do the odds favor new bull markets, new all-time highs for coins that have shallower drawdowns? And the data does seem to favor that the shorter the distance of the actual drawdown, the more likely it was to go out into an all-time high. So I wrote this whole newsletter and we go through all of that data, and I show you that going through all of the coins from 2018 from the top 100. And then we go through all of the coins from 2021, 2022, and 2023, showing you the top 100 and showing you the drawdowns, and then showing you the percentage and the odds on coins that did do stuff like 97% versus stuff that only does like 82%. So we've had a year and a half down here at the lows when Total 2 bottomed back there in June. And right now everybody's panicking, FOMOing, what coins do I buy? What do I do? And I've tried to give you guys the tools there, and I've tried to tell you these things, paying attention to developer data on a coin. It does seem to impact who does the better performer. And even in that newsletter that I put out this morning, we go through the top 20 by development activity currently right now. We talked about them in the last newsletter. We compared them right now versus the top 20 by market cap. Still, the developer coins are beating out the top 20 by market cap right now. So if you're sitting there and you're digging through and you're like, I'm waiting for someone on Twitter to show me a coin and I'm going to buy it, and that's going to be the one. I know nothing about it, but this guy shilled it to me because it's going up. I'm telling you, it's not going to work out well for you, but there's still time to do the nitty gritty and decide what's right for you. This is where things get exciting. This is where things get fun and things start moving really fast. And this market hasn't seen altcoins get on the move in a long time. And I do remember what they're like. I've been through several of them, and it just becomes shilling, people cheering on Twitter saying, I'm in this coin, it's doing so great, haha. And it's not, sometimes it's just not even so much to like lure you into buying it. It's really just gloating. It's kind of an ego thing. But sometimes it is that. And it's hard to tell that difference between who is actually paid to shill you coins, because there are absolutely people that you trust who are paid to shill you coins. You think they're legit. They are totally paid. Lots of them out there that don't disclose it. But I've tried to give you a lot of the tools and the data to show you, backing it up with numbers, right? On like what was the best performers, what were the things that you could look for. And some of those important things to look for are the development activity, coins, who has the highest development, who still has developers entering the space, or at least not on like a massive decline where they're like leaving. And you can get that data, a developer report, and you can get that at Santiment. And when it comes to like the percentage drawdowns, you're gonna have to go through and manually do like every single coin, which I did do, and it's in the newsletter that I put out today. So if you want it, there's 100 of them in there, and I've already done it for you. But it's not a surprise to see the ones that are doing well, and the ones that have been doing well, because Solana, Chainlink, those guys, they're in the top 20 for development, man. AVAX, it's in the top 20 for development. It's not a surprise to see these ones going. Some of you guys may have heard of Celestia or TIA. It's been shooting up. It just got released a little over a week ago. It's been shooting up. Why are people all hyped about it? Because like on the developer reports that I've shown, The people have been waiting for this. There's been a lot of development on this. So just buying stuff because somebody's telling you it's a good coin or whatnot, right? And I'm not saying go buy this. Look at this thing. It's a straight up. What goes straight up and what comes straight down at some point, right? But the point of it is the money is flocking to where things are being worked on, things are exciting, and all of that is at your fingertips. You just got to go look for it. And the people on Twitter who are telling you what coin to buy, they're not giving you that. Don't rely on that stuff. Do it for yourself. And the thing that does too is it gives you more conviction, right? So, we could be on the brink of a really exciting time. And the big question is going to be, who's going to be the biggest performer during a time like that, during a quick move up here happening in the market? And we can even look at this thing on a small time frame. Even as I've been recording, here you go. Others, it just set another new yearly high. So we just took out November 13th over here. We can zoom out further and further and further and further to see that is now another new high, and we're now at the highest that we've been here since May of 2022 for others. So totally an exciting time in the market. I think it's going to move really fast. I think, of course, Bitcoiners are just hooting and hollering at this. The show has been altcoins, right? This has been the altcoin show. We've waited a very long time for this. We talked about it earlier in the year. ABC coming in here, crossing the desert, a cruel summer, right? If you didn't catch on to that by now, that is a Taylor Swift song that I totally trolled you all with for 6 months, saying we'd have a cruel summer. But we did, right? Like a totally cruel summer, right? There's April, May, June, July. There we go. August, September, October. There we go. But, if we can get our breakout here, get ready. It's going to get exciting. If you're, positioned throughout the cryptocurrency market, I get it. You look at the leaders and you think, hey, they're zooming, they're going. This whole market tends to move together. And I even put out a video last week just to show that the whole thing goes. And I even showed it that when we zoomed in really close, while they all go together, it doesn't mean they're all going on the exact same day. There's a lot of rotation that happens in here. There's leaders, there's mid-pack, there's laggards. It just happens all over the place. And that was in an XRP related video that I showed that. So if you want to check that out from last week, but if you got yourself properly set, yeah, here we go. I would say that's a nice little thing to see that others is trying to get itself another little breakout happening over here currently right now. I think that daily candle throwback over there on total 3 was great. And that throwback over there on total 2 was great. So keep on rocking. My expectations will still continue to be that we are still just going higher highs, higher lows. And, at some point, some type of break, hopefully. But this one, I won't be fooled by it. I'll expect to pull back. The next one, I'll expect to pull back. And then finally on the one that goes, I'll be like, oh, it's probably going to pull back. But then it'll finally be the one. But you can just see, you can get yourself washing machine. I haven't spent any time trying to guess this, right? You guys know that. Dating back since October 24th, once we got in here, this was what my idea is, what we would actually end up looking like. I haven't spent any time trying to be like, okay, setting up fibs on here and retraces and everything like that, or picking how it would go. Just kind of said higher highs and higher lows, and it continued to grind for several weeks on end, right? Maybe a month. We're now 23 days into it. So we're getting closer. We're getting closer to where this thing could end up going. But you can totally see even the moment that you thought you were going to get out, it still did it again. Washing machined once more. So I'm not going to be fooled by that. I'm still just going to kind of keep this same thought process in here. But what my guess would be is that it is going to be finally, once Bitcoin does actually leave the range, it does actually go, that will be when total 2, total 3, and others ends up breaking out from the preliminary support region and gets the bigger move to end up coming in. I think that's just going to be it. It's going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be the whole market all going all at one time. So we are still kind of waiting on Bitcoin. We're all grinding. We're all green in here. Everything is beautiful. But then for that big, exciting, euphoric moment coming out there. And so keep your eyes open, right? There might be news that comes at that point, right? We know we're expecting something to eventually come. Just be mindful if some news gets released in there that it was a technical move, and then somebody timed some news to happen at that time. But, to piggyback on that again, back to the altcoin market, right? With total 3, I talked about this in an XRP video last time, is that once we finally got out of this range for total 3, right? You already had Bitcoin going. It was moving its way up in here. Once total 3 got up in here, this is where the whole altcoin market just started ripping. And that's just where we're at right now. Total 3 is just now getting out of here right now. And it took this right here, and then we were off to the races here in 2021. So I'm excited. We're still waiting for the breakout. It's like we're sitting at the resistance and trying to get through it. But, you essentially put yourself right there. where things got wild. And I hope everybody survived the last 2 days of red as the market now begins to take it all back. And hopefully you've got some of the stuff over here on the right side of the screen that is just crushing it. So things are looking good. Just wanted to point out the technical back test that happened over here in the altcoin market caps. How Bitcoin has still continued to play to the tune of 2020. I know the market got pretty scared yesterday. Obviously, it's taken all of it back up now. Still, I'm expecting there's still some more washing machining going on in here. But now that these back tests are complete, we're all kind of waiting for the big show to actually get going, because I don't think the big show has happened yet. But in order for that to all occur, we need to get through the level right now. This little diagonal line makes it look like we're all clear and in the free, but reality is we're still in here. We've got to get our way out, and I think that's where the big show starts. But as for yesterday, it seemed to be pretty normal, pretty technical in here for the altcoin market, and pretty right on standard behavior for Bitcoin. So we'll check in on it again this week. I know video's been a little spotty this week. Had a lot of work going on behind here. Trust me, these have been full long days. These things do not get written up and produced in about an hour. These things do take about 2 days to do. But it's out there. It's released. You can check that out. blockchainbacker.substack.com. And of course, you can check out my website over here, bcbacker.com, if you'd like to watch 40 videos by me. It's over 11 hours of content diving into the cryptocurrency market and the historical behavior of things like the altcoin market and Bitcoin, and talking about tokenomics and things that were really important. And there is even the case study in here talking about developer data and performance of the altcoin market as well. You can get all these videos over here, all 40 plus 11 hours worth of content and downloadable PDFs for $39. One time, no subscription fees. And this is a subscription-based newsletter over here on blockchainbacker.substack.com. There are links to both of them, bcbacker.com and blockchainbacker.substack.com, here in the description of this video and every video here on the YouTube channel. Otherwise, here's to cheering for the breakout. Here's to celebrating the successful backtest, and fingers crossed we can get it sooner than later. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you could be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.